The time is 11:32 p.m. and the date today is the 10th of September 2020, 10/9/2020. The day is Thursday. Yo, and yeah, confrontational and aggressive. Understandings. Offenses. Offensive. Obviously, these are three different words, but they are related in one way, and we're going to speak about them. Offenses. So, for example, if you commit a crime, it's an offense. If you've committed a crime, it means you've created a victim. You've offended. Therefore, it's offensive to the victim. You see what I mean? And then understanding of your actions. So, was it premeditated? It means you understood what you was going to do, and you even planned it. Or was it in an act of self-defense? It means you had no plan. You had no premeditation. So understand. So get this. Confidence. What is confidence? So you have to get the understanding of it. Yeah, confidence. What is confidence? Confidence is an attitude, a go-getter attitude. Confidence is not displaying signs of shyness that hold you back. Confidence is possibly having the knowledge. Therefore, you have the confidence that if this job relies on the knowledge of the job, then you have the confidence to win. But understand, the word confidence begins with the word con. The word con now describes a person who is a con artist. To have confidence is a good person and is a good trait. To be a con or con artist is to be a criminal, an offensive person. All of a sudden. But understanding. Do people actually know the origination of the word con man? Con man. Let me explain it to you, and you're going to realize that a con man is actually a good word. Watch. Sometime back in the days, Doctor Who travel through time days. Rich white men, affluent rich white men will jump on the train to do the daily journeys from one manor house to the other manor house, enjoying the pleasures of life. These people had one code. The code was the gentleman's code. The gentleman's code. And the gentleman's code was spoken with many riddles. And they were part of many societies, and there were many tests performed within these societies. So these people already had a heightened sense of that I could be under test. This guy, one guy, realized that the rich, the wealthy, the elite, that they had a code. But it's a code they were unsure of, because it was a secret code and you never knew when you were under it. So he would approach them on the train, dressed to suit. Dressed to suit. He was confident in his dressing. Sometimes he outmatched them. Because back then, the clothes you wore also showed or also gave statements to your status. And the carriages you rode in, so first class, the fact that you can afford it also gave an automatic assurance to your eliteness. So this guy simply made sure he fitted the role. He was a confident guy in his speech. He was a confident guy in his approach to people. And he simply will sit down with them and start a conversation. And he won't make it very long. He will put them to a test immediately. Something he knows that men of the occult are constantly under. But not a test in the classroom, a test of life. And he'd approach them. He'd introduce himself. Gentleman's code is not to be rude. They talk, and then confidently he'd make them an offer. But an offer without making an offer, he will simply start by seeking their trust. And he knew the wealthy were greedy. And since he was dressed to match and possibly outdo them, the offer was very simple. I entrust you to entrust me with that watch you're wearing, that expensive watch you're wearing. Entrust that tomorrow I will meet you again on this journey. Give your watch back to you. And then knowing that you put that trust in me, I will show you something. Immediately, they will strip off their watch. They will give it to him. He will get off the next stop. The next day, they will jump back on the train. And they will have what we call great expectations. Great expectations. But the day before, this confident guy, because he was so confident in his ability, he didn't look for great expectation. He created great expectations. Create them. He made his way. After fooling a lot of people, news started to travel. And they said that when the news started to travel, they labeled the confident man who had robbed them and showed them how stupid and greedy they were. They couldn't put the word fidence. They just couldn't do it. They couldn't bring themselves to accept that simple confidence. Simple confidence had fooled them. So they inscribed wanted. A very confident man who approaches gentlemen and says rah 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 and takes their watch. Call him the con man. The con, he finessed them. He fidenced them. They didn't want to give him that. So they called him the con man. But a con man is not a bad person. It's simply a confident individual. Confident in his ways. Confident in his speech. Confident in his thoughts. Confident in his mannerisms. Confidence in himself. And confidence is not arrogant. As long as you're willing to expect or to accept that I'm confident about what I know, but then if I go somewhere and I find out that what I know has been put to the test and what I know has been proven to be wrong, a confident man will say, well, gentlemen, we came, we saw, and we are not going to conquer all. Confidently. In Tree, they will say, he came to do some, but he didn't do all. So you see, you are a con man if you are simply confident. And at work, you're so confident that when customers walk in, it is you they want to talk to. Why? Because of you, the company gets to keep customers. But a company never keeps customers for the sake of the customers. It keeps customers for the sake of profiteering. So you go and you employ confident people and you turn them into con men and women. But on one aspect is accepted, and they will never be labeled as con men and women. They will be labeled as confident men and women who bring in the clients, who keep the clients, who make sales, who drive up profits. Confident people. But the con men are those who have the same skills but decide, rather than rob the many who are the poorest, they're going to confidently con the wealthy who have so much and they're not sharing. And all of a sudden, it becomes a crime. Robin Hood was a confident man. Robin Hood was also a con man. Do you see what I mean? Understandings. We're all con men. As long as you have confidence in something, then you are a confident man in that which you have confidence in. Therefore, in that aspect, you are a con man. Now, you can use your con art for the benefit of the many, or you can use your con art for the benefit of the few, the elite. But when you use it for the few, you become a confident man, a fellow, a gentleman, a man of code, a man of honor. When you use it for the many, you become a criminal, a Robin Hood. The funny thing about Robin Hood is everyone, the 99% of the population, the poor, loved him. The 1% hated him. But get this, if a kingdom truly ruled for the people, then the moment one individual was loved by the 99, that should have been rather an indication to the 1% that we are getting something wrong. But the 1% are fully aware of what they're getting wrong. It's a fair distribution. A fair distribution of land. They want it all for themselves and their generations. They want everyone to be what in England soon it will be called the 10-ant system. The 10-ant system is basically you will have an English passport, you will be English born and bred, but you will never have the opportunity to actually own anything tangible, land. Why? Because the rich would have bought out the land. They would have driven unemployment so high, and they would have driven wages so low that it will get to a standard where 90% of the English population will just become tenants. Tenants. But why 10 in the word ants? Is because it's set in the blueprint. Get this. The economy controls governments. So when landlords own most of the nation, it means the government actually owns nothing. It means the government is actually only there to control the people. But most of the land is private land. So the government doesn't actually have jurisdiction on land. Therefore, government housing is out because government now has to get a place, has to get spots from private landlords. This becomes leveraging systems for the big names, for the big landlords, the ones that own most of the land. They practically, in that case, become the government. Because get this, in order to get votes, landlords will be a very lucrative people for the government, for the parties to, because these people own the physical, tangible land. The voters literally have Sky IDs. Sky IDs are passports. That's it. Sky IDs. But it is the landlords who hold the power. So get this, 10 ants. You will end up paying rent for the rest of your life, your kids. Basically, you'll be giving birth to kids to put them into bondage. Bondage being that they will spend the rest of their lives working for the 10 largest landlords in the UK who control the government. The government who control the serve ants. Listen, the word servant, we're talking about understanding. People do not understand it. A servant doesn't mean a slave or someone who serves you. It's actually what they call a double entendre or something like that. It's actually a play on words. It's two words put into one. It's two words actually put into one. But it's to tell you, it's a phonetic word. It's to tell you what an actual servant is. So watch this. The word serve. Anyone who serves something to you gives you stuff. Gives you stuff. Gives you stuff. The word ant. Ant is the idea of the ant colony. The colony is the colony mentality. We don't like to think of ourselves as ants, but we should think like ants. Why? Because they work together and they build mighty great things. Because they work together, they do many great things and they live a happy life. But if one of them is found alone, he's weak, vulnerable. So they always stay together. So get this. We call the worker ants slaves, but they're not slaves. What are they doing? They are working to keep the colony alive So they're doing what we're doing, working to keep ourselves alive. But get this, there's a particular ant, the queen. The queen. We call her the queen. But get this, this is a woman who only has but one job. Just give birth. You'll be fed, everything will be given to you. Just give birth. And then get this, she gives birth knowing that one day, very soon, one of her own offspring is going to attack her, kill her. They're going to divide her, section her, whatever. But that's her job, so she does it. She has put her life down. Even the queen who attacks her and kills her, she actually did that to put herself in the same position, to be attacked and killed in the future. But why do they do this? They do this because they serve the many. They actually want to dedicate their lives to serving the many, because this job of not running around, not doing anything, but just giving birth is actually a sacrificial job. And the person who's doing it is actually the person who initiated the last sacrifice. So thus, fully understands the role she's about to play. She's about to serve many. She's about to serve ants. So you see, our politicians, when they take on the job of politics, they've actually made, because get this, they've made sacrifices to make sure that they get voted in. The queen, she made sacrifices. She killed her own mom. She had a mom disemboweled and breaking apart and eaten so she can take the seat. So now they get in the seat. But you see, these queens, they kill to get in the seat, and they do what the one before did. The one before was not killed because they were bad or they were anything. They were killed because the idea of dedicating your life only goes to those who are willing to take the plunge. You see what I mean? So they go. But get this, they know from that moment it's a life of serving the many. So they become serve ants. Politicians don't become serve ants because they start serving the 1% and they leave out the many, the colony, the ants. So the politicians are not servants. And a servant is not a slave. Is the mannerism in which your job is done. If your job is to serve the many are the ants, and you serve them. You are someone who serves many. It should be a job to be proud of. You see what I mean? Understanding. So watch this. If I say this sentence, fornicating under consent of the king. Yeah, fornicating under consent of the king. Someone who's English will say, oh, okay. Someone who's not English, like in Ghana, will probably say, oh, that's big. Fornicating under consent of the king. What's that about? Fuck. That's what that's about. You see, understanding, watch. Again, back in wherever, when Doctor Who had his time travel machine, that far back, yeah? Control. Now we're talking about power and control. Back then, the kings and the queens, they had a lot of power. Power over life and death. Like Caesar will put his thumb up and people will die. People will live. Caesar will put his thumb down and people will die. Whoa, all the kings and queens of England and of many countries, even till today, still carry these powers, these illogical powers, which give another illogical human being who makes illogical decisions, who shits every day and shit stinks, power over another one's life. But get this, it does exist. It does exist. So get this. Where was that? Reasoning. So we was on servants and servant. And I've even forgotten what I was, I'll be honest. Oh, I'll be back. 1 second. I'll be back. 1 second.